Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from the Boneyard in Gridley, California. I'm Frank Durienzo with Nick Dobis on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the visiting Winters Warriors against the Gridley Bulldogs. Winters comes into tonight's game with an overall record of 4-4, while the home team Gridley is 0-8.
That's right, Frank. The Warriors had a big win earlier this season, a 30-37 victory over Live Oak on September 21st when the Lions were undefeated at the time, but have gone 1-3 since that signature win. Currently, they are one of the last teams invited to the playoff party, but will need to win their next two games in order to fend off a Corning, who is right behind them at the 8 seed, and Central Valley, who has the same record heading into tonight's game, but are on the outside looking in. So a win tonight not only means that they stay in that playoff hunt, but they can avoid playing the currently undefeated number 1 ranked Sutter in the first round. I think the big question for the Warriors heading into this night is, can they limit their mistakes on defense? This is a defense that gives up just over 31 points a game. And Frank, if I was you, I'd be looking for Blaine Miller tonight. He's a star linebacker that averages just over 10 tackles a game, and he needs to have an inspiring performance tonight to pump this team up and get them ready next week as they face a solid Orland team that we saw earlier this season. Also, a notable standout is quarterback Chris Mays, who is averaging a combined 180 total yards a game. So he's really going to need to facilitate and sustain drives to help a struggling defense this year.
And I remember seeing Chris Mays with, he has 957 yards, so he only has 43 yards left to go to reach the 1,000 mark in rushing.
Wow.
And he also has 17 touchdowns on the ground, so that'll be a player that we'll also have to watch out for. And the Bulldogs' woes have been continuing this season, 0-8, and can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, woes is the correct term for that. At 0-8, and they've been outscored 350-38 this season, including 4 shutouts. I think the big question for them is, can they find a way to score 30 points tonight? Now, Frank, you might be asking yourself, why 30? That's because the Warriors are 3-1 when holding opponents to 30 points or less. But their defense has given up 44 points a game in their 4 losses. Now, the Bulldogs, have been struggling on offense and average just 5 points a game heading into this match. So they will really need to hold nothing back from that playbook and put some points on the board if they want to hang with this Winters defense.
Yeah, and I believe the smallest margin of victory for Gridley was 16 points, and that was on October 5th. And so against Oroville. And, 16 points, that's still a 3-possession game, so they're going to have to work harder a little bit facing a good Winters team like this.
That's right. And you know what they have going for them tonight is, it's senior night here. It's their last home game here for the Bulldogs. Expect them to play with a lot of emotion and if they want to win at home. And they need to really find that spark if they want to pull off a huge upset next week as they head to Wheatland. So anticipate the Bulldogs to, be really emotional. No one wants to go to finish the season defeated, especially the seniors here on senior night. So expect them to play with emotion. Expect them to play with the most emotion here tonight.
Yeah, I'm right. With senior night, this is the last home game they're going to finish out their season on the road, and so it holds an extra special, place for those seniors. Their last game, so we should be gearing up for the emotions. So that's going to do it for tonight's PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a few moments. Friday Night Football begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, coming to you live from Gridley, California. I'm Frank Dirienzo with Nick Dobis on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the 4-4 Winters Warriors visiting the 0-8 Gridley Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right. And, as we were talking about, it's been a woeful season for the Bulldogs, and I've been part of a losing team, not in football and basketball, but, what you do play for, if not for a playoff spot, is for pride. And this Bulldog program has shown a lot of pride over the last few seasons, so there's plenty for them to play for tonight. And I know they would love to, knock Winters down a playoff peg or two as well. So it should be a pretty good ball game.
And we're looking forward to it here as the fans are ready, and the kickoff is underway, and it's going to land just around the 20-yard line, and it's going to be, and it looks like it might be a fumble here.
Yeah, that ball is a live ball after 10 yards, so if no one picks it up, it's going to be Winters' ball as it is right now.
And so Winters recovers here just around the 20-yard line, looks like about the 22, so they'll start at 1st and 10 with excellent field position. And so this isn't looking good for the Bulldogs so far. And their woes continue here.
Yeah, Frank, both these teams have really struggled on special teams throughout the season, and that's a huge initial error right there by the Bulldogs and gives the Warriors beautiful field position to start this game.
And so Chris Mays hands it off to the halfback, and he breaks a couple tackles, and he goes up the middle, and it's going to be a gain of just about 9 yards on the play. That was Nico Rojas, and pretty good run there, good read, and he cut back up the middle, and really good pickup. Yeah,
really nice read right there, and a little bit of an over pursuit by the defense. Got a little too anxious to chase him down, and he was able to make a nice cutback for a huge gain.
And so it's going to be 2nd and 1 on the 12-yard line. And we're waiting for Chris Mays, and he's going to hand it off to his fullback here, and he breaks out to the left-hand side, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. And so it's going to be a 12-yard touchdown for Chaz Matthews, 5'9", 155 player who's a sophomore playing on the varsity.
Yeah, this Winters offense is a shotgun wing tee. It's going to throw a lot of misdirection at you, and they just gave it to the fullback right there, and he makes a quick reservation for 6 in the end zone.
And so they're going to go for the extra point here, which will put them up by 7 already in this game. Just under a minute as we wait for the snap. And here's the snap. And it's going to be a fake, and he's going to run, and he's going to pass it into the end zone, but it's going to be defended. And so Jacob Lowry was the intended receiver on the play on the fake PAT, or the fake kick, rather. And it looks like they were going to go for 2, adding a little insult to injury, but...
Yeah, nice little wrinkle there in the special teams play by Winters. Looks like it was executed nicely, but great defense there to keep this a 6-point game. Now, if you're the Bulldogs, you had the unfortunate start to the game on special teams. You're just looking to get the ball back and sustain that nice drive that we were talking about earlier.
Well, let's talk about that call there, going for 2 when you already go up by 7 within a minute. You think that's a smart play?
Well, this early in the stage, usually not. But, when you score, when you get a nice special teams play like that and you score real quick, you think you got a little momentum, a little bit of confidence, think you can overtake them pretty quickly. But try to catch them by surprise. Just didn't work out for them right there.
And as we're waiting the kickoff here, we're waiting for the Winters Warriors to get ready. And so Gridley having a little hole in their run defense. They get run on for, I think it was about 3 plays, right? 2 plays.
It was 2 plays, yeah. First, over pursuit, miscue, then just some poor tackling on that second play for Matthews to get in the end zone.
And so the kickoff is going to be returned this time by number 40, and he finds a cut up the middle, and he's going to be brought down past the 35-yard line. And so a pretty decent return there. And we don't seem to have him on our roster, but we'll find out here soon enough. But pretty good pickup. And it wasn't that great of a kick, but it was a pretty good return.
most important thing is the Bulldogs retain possession on that one, and they get to start hopefully a nice drive for them here.
And so Matt Scott is going to take it himself, and the quarterback keeper on the right-hand side, and he's going to pick up just about 6. So a nice little decent run there to find the hole in the defense.
Yeah, made a nice little read there at the end, and made a nice little run to get 5 yards. You look, Matt Scott looks like he's a big kid out there at quarterback. Nice, lengthy body, able to pick up some big yards fast.
And that's what you usually want when you have a prototypical quarterback. You want him to be tall yet big to take all the punishment that a quarterback takes over the course of the game. And so Matt Scott is ready in shotgun formation here. And he's going to hand it off to his running back, number 40. And he breaks out to the right-hand side, and he's going to be close to the first down marker, but there are flags on the field.
Almost a great play there by number 3, Chris Mays, almost making that tackle in the backfield, but just didn't break down in the tackle, didn't get down in a good tackling stance and let the runner right by him.
And so that was Richard Benish on the carry there. And so we'll have to see where they spot this and what the penalty is going to be. And it's going to be a face mask against the defense, so that definitely will move the chains. Another 15 yards tacked onto the end of that run. And so big mistake there by Winters, which pushes them past midfield, and they're set up to make a run towards the red zone and the end zone.
And if you're the Bulldogs, that's exactly what you need. You know, you're a team that's been struggling on offense all year, so getting all the calls and getting all the momentum plays like that is big, especially early in this ball game when you're already down 6 points.
And so Scott waiting the snap in the shotgun formation, and it's going to be a keeper, but he's being pursued behind the line, and he's going to take a loss here. And so a good, by Blaine Miller, good tackle there.
Yeah, we mentioned Blaine Miller in our pregame show. This is a kid that averages just over 10 tackles a game, really the heart of this Winters defense, and makes an excellent play there from his linebacker position.
This one? Okay. And as we await the snap here. And so he looks like he's going to pass it, and he passes it downfield and right into a defender. And so it's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, Scott was very fortunate that wasn't an interception. Great play by the defender to make a play on the ball, just didn't come up with it, and it's going to force. Oh, it looks like they're actually going to give him the catch right there. It's going to make it a 3rd and short, though.
And so they are restarting the clock here because he did make the catch. And we were blocked from our view here in this booth. But that's okay.
Gotta live with that. Gotta live with that up here in the northern section. It's okay.
And so Gridley was lined up in the I formation, but it looks like the referees are going to get together and talk here. I don't see a flag on the field, but they're going to discuss it. And the clock will restart. And so Matt Scott's going to line up in the I formation, a fullback and a halfback.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback keeper here with that big quarterback. There it is.
And so there is the quarterback keeper, and he pushes ahead for just about 4 yards on the play, so that's going to give them enough to move the chains, and they're getting closer now. It's the 36-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and 10.
Yeah, big first down right there. You know, you just got a few inches to go. Give it to your big quarterback and a good, solid offensive line to push ahead and move the chains.
And they get the play in the huddle, and they're going to come out in the same formation here, I formation, with a receiver on the bottom part of your screen there. And we have a player in motion. And so it's going to be triple stacked at the middle, and he does break through. And so a good pickup there, about 8 yards.
Yeah, power football. It's a simple thing, but when it works well. Great pickup by the fullback there to give his running back a lot of yards there and make this a 2nd and manageable. Now, you know, if you're the Bulldogs, your playbook is open right here on a 2nd and short. I wouldn't be surprised if they think about maybe taking a shot deep at the end zone.
And Jonathan Villapana on the carry. And so that's going to set up 2nd and 2 on the 28-yard line. And so Filipania again with the carry, but he's going to actually lose a couple yards here. And so what started off as a good first down drive has now been negated, and it's going to be a 3rd and 4 on the 31.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry. The offensive line won the first battle on first down, lost the battle there on 2nd down. Now it's going to be a 3rd and about 5 right here, and it's going to make this a pretty interesting 3rd down conversion.
And so it's going to be I form again with Filipania in the backfield. And so he's going to pass it out, and it is nearly intercepted. And an inaccurate throw there.
Yeah, that was a play solely based on timing, and the timing between Matt Scott and Shobi Khan was definitely off on that one, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
And so that was Christian Corrales on the defense there with a good read, and it should have been an easy interception, but he just hit off his fingertips. So here on 4th down, they are going to go for it. And so he drops back, and he throws it out right near the sidelines, and it looks like they will convert the 4th down, and so they're down right about the 21-yard line. So a good pickup and good read and a good pass.
Yeah, beautiful combination route on the opposite side. Had the inside flanker man running an out while the outside receiver was running a post, and nice little combination to give them the first down, caught the defense off guard.
And so as we're ready here, Matt Scott is going to line up in shotgun formation yet here again, and it looks like it's going to be just about the same play, but he throws over the left side of the field, and it's tipped up, and it will fall to the ground harmlessly, fortunately for Gridley. And Leo Espinoza was the intended receiver on the play.
Yeah, Scott didn't have a whole lot of time to make a throw on that play, but that's kind of the second dangerous pass he's made in this drive so far. Young man's going to have to settle down and make some more accurate throws.
And so Matt Scott looking for something here to try to break into the red zone.
Yeah. If you're the Bulldogs, though, you have to be encouraged with this drive. You're moving the ball pretty efficiently, and you're close to the red zone. You just got to punch that ticket now.
And so they go back into the I formation, and they hand it off, and he escapes one defender, and he gets brought down from behind. And so Austin Amberson was tackled by number 50, Blaine Miller.
Yeah, nice little counter play there. The offensive lineman who was pulling, sort of missed his block there, but Amberson had the grit and determination to break the tackle and get some key yards here and make this a 3rd and manageable.
And so it's going to be a 3rd and 4 on the 15-yard line. Just under 6 minutes here left in this quarter, and he's going to roll out right, and he's going to pass it down to the sideline again, and it's going to be incomplete. Sorry, our view is a little blocked on that side of the field, but it is going to be incomplete, so it's going to be a 4th and 4 now, and it looks like they might be going for it yet again and try to convert the 4th down. They're looking like maybe since they had success in the past, maybe they'll have success on this play.
Yeah, and really, at 0-8, you don't really have much else to lose. You want to get that tying score, and so why not go for it here?
And so an I formation yet again with a receiver in motion, and he's going to fake a handoff 28, and he's going to pass it towards the end zone, and is incomplete. It is going to be incomplete, ruled by the official who was right there, and the intended receiver was Leo Espinoza yet again. And so they do not convert on 4th down, and they give the ball to the Warriors on the 15-yard line.
Beautiful little play-action play there. Had the defensive secondary, especially the linebackers, fooled on that one. Just too bad that Scott couldn't connect with his man in the end zone. Just ran out of real estate in the back there. But you know what? If you're the Bulldogs, you still have to be encouraged with that drive. The Warriors now have to work with a long field, so let's see if the Bulldog defense can make a stop and get the ball back.
And so the Warriors are going to come up here. And as we mentioned in the broadcast before, we had Chris Mays, and he hands it off to his running back, Jacob Lowry, who is one of 5 underclassmen on this varsity roster. And so it looks like they're pulling from all the grades. And if they're that good as a freshman or a sophomore, then I can't wait till they come back next year to be even more developed.
Yeah, that's got to be definitely encouraging for a winners program. Currently 4-4 this season, but with those young key pieces making contributions now, you can hope that they can build, get that varsity experience, keep building, and hopefully be star players for these Warriors someday. I mean, they're already on the field and are already fielding, kind of a stable of running backs right now with this depth. So that's encouraging to see.
So they're going to go 5 yards back here with an illegal motion penalty. And so Mays, he spins around, and it's a little reverse there. And it's going to be a nice little pickup there, just about 4 yards.
Yeah, nice little pickup, but the defense did a nice job not getting too fooled by the nice handoff fake. It makes this a 2nd down and 10. Now, if you're the Bulldogs, you've seen 2 running plays. I wouldn't be too surprised if the Warriors dig deep into their little play-action playbook here. Tries to pick up, nice little 7 or 8 yards to make it 3rd and short.
And so as Mays, and there's flag before the snap here. And we'll have to see what it is.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Could either be an encroachment call or maybe one of the offensive line on the left-hand side flinched a little bit.
And so we'll have to wait for the head referee to give us a signal here.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Case isn't too happy with either himself or with the call on that one. Maybe he's the one who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar on that one.
And so it's going to be a false start against Winters, and so this is the second penalty of this drive for 10 yards so far, and they're going to have a 2nd and 15 on the 10-yard line now. So they shot themselves in the foot, and now they're back deeper into the territory than they were before. And Chris Mays is in the shotgun formation, and he hands it off to his running back, but he's going to be stuffed at the line. He's going to lose a couple here, and so it's going to be 3rd and a whole bunch, and that was Chaz Matthews on the carry.
Yeah, nice play there by Andrew McCracken, not to get too thrown off by the different formations that this Winters team is going to throw at you. Shed the block and made a nice tackle, really putting the Warriors in a desperate situation here at 3rd and long.
And so it's going to be 3rd and 16 on the 7 now with that play. As Mays is up again, and we haven't seen him run yet. And so he's going to roll out left, and he looks like he's going to toss it down the field. And he was going for Christian Corrales, but it's going to be incomplete, and now it's going to be 4th and long. And they're going to bring out the punt team.
Yeah, nice textbook play there by the cornerback, Leo Espinoza. Jammed the receiver at the line just to throw him off a little bit, throw off the route, and the quarterback wasn't able to make a nice, accurate pass, and it brings up a 4th down.
And so as the punt team gets ready here, we have to see what they're... And so it looks like their quarterback is also their punter. Same guy. And so it's going to be returned back to the number 2, and that was Shobi Khan. And he took it just about the 48-yard line, so it was a strong enough kick, but with a good return of just about 15 yards, they're going to have great field position, and they're going to be just about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, great field position, and if you're this Bulldogs offense, you have to stay patient. You had a nice drive, just didn't get, execute that play on 4th down to get the touchdown, but you have to be feeling pretty good about yourself moving the ball like that.
And so Matt Scott gets the ball back here, and he's going to try to make it a touchdown drive. And so Matt Scott with Jonathan Villapana in the backfield in an I formation with 2 receivers. And it's a little bubble screen out here to number 2. And he is going to pick up just about 4 yards on the play. And so Shobi Khan with the reception. And so a nice little bubble screen there, but the defenders were all over it.
Yeah, in a play like that, that it's kind of like a feast or famine play when you throw a nice little jet pass right there. You can either get the 4 or 5 yards to make it third and manageable, or that play can easily break for a touchdown. So interesting play call there. Let's see what Coach Cooprider has up his sleeve on third down here.
And so it's going to be third and somewhat long on this play. And here's the snap. And he's going to roll out back, but he's going to be pursued in the backfield. And it's very, very well defended there by Christian Corrales. And so Christian Corrales doing it on both sides of the field. And so he was pressured on that one and just made a pretty terrible throw, but
yeah, kind of threw a little bit of a medicine ball up there. For your quarterback,
right.
you see your receiver wide open like that. You need to get him the ball right now so the safety Christian Corrales doesn't make a nice play like he did and break it up. So it looks like, the Bulldogs in their final home game here are not going to leave anything, not going to hold anything back and just going to go for it on fourth down each time. And I don't see why not.
And so it's going to be a 4th and 6 on the 33-yard line with under 2 minutes left here in this quarter. And so he's going to roll out, and he's looking for the screen pass, and he lobs it up there, and it's going to be incomplete. And so Austin Amberson was the intended receiver, but he couldn't come up with a reception on the high arcing throw from Matt Scott. So they're going to give the ball back to the Winters Warriors.
It looks like the Bulldogs try to go with that same play action look they tried to do on their last fourth down attempt on their last series. Tried to throw in a little bit of a screen, but just wasn't executed as well. The fake wasn't quite there, and the Winters defense wasn't quite fooled by it. And because of that, it's going to be a first down for the Warriors.
And so Chris Mays, hoping to get to 1,000 yards rushing here in this game, is going to be in the shotgun with 1 running back and 2 receivers on the right. And he's going to keep it himself, and he has good blocking downfield, and he breaks it out to the sideline, and he is going to go all the way down and be tackled at the 35, just about the 35-yard line. It might even be longer from our perspective, but that was a heck of a run there.
And if he didn't get it right there, he's pretty close to that 1,000-yard mark after that splendid run right there. Nice ball fake. And, that's tough when you have a quarterback that can sit in the shotgun and able to run the ball nicely with his feet and able to make the throw. So let's see if he continues with that on this play.
So that was about a 35-yard pickup. That was unfortunate. The broadcasting, not the play. We'll edit that out. And so it's going to be Chris Mays again with the keeper, and he's going to go up the middle, and he's still on his feet, and it looks like it's going to be a touchdown, so it's going to be a 25-yard touchdown by Chris Mays, and it looks like he might have broken 1,000 yards there on those two plays.
Yeah, absolutely, and broke in bowling ball fashion right there, knocking over a few pins on his way into the end zone. Very nice run right there by the young man right there.
And so as we wait for the Winters Warriors to make the extra point to go up by 2 scores, they're standing at 12 points right now. There's 1:18 left in the first quarter. And it looks like they're ready here, and they are going to go for 2 here yet again.
Yeah, try to even up the score and get back to 14.
And so Mays fakes the handoff and throws it out, and it's going to be good for 2 points. So they're going to go up to 14. It's 14-0 now. And so that was Ben Case, and we called his name before in our other Winters broadcast.
Yeah, and if the Bulldogs want to hang in this ball game, their offense is doing some good things right now, just not, completely finishing their drives, but their defense is going to need to help out their offense right now. You can get a stop again. They had had the Warriors in deep field position on the second series, had okay field position, but Chris Mays was just too much with his feet right there.
And do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Then tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. And as we wait Winters to kick off the ball, Gridley's struggling already here in the first quarter, down by 2 scores. And we just saw Chris Mays with 2 huge plays on the ground. And so it's a little flare kickoff here, and it's going to be returned from the 32, and he gets about to the 40, so about a little 8-yard return there with 1:13 left here in the first quarter. And what is Gridley going to have to do? They did some things well on their last drive, but I think they're going to have to exemplify that, don't you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Frank. They had some good things going. They had some good stuff going in the play-action game. They just need to get their running game going a little bit more, establish that run, and that's going to open up the pass nicely for them. And, of course, this is the Winters defense has made their mistakes as well this season, giving up just about 31 points a game. So they need to capitalize on whatever mistakes, the Warriors give them.
And so it's going to be a loose ball on the field. And so an interesting play there. They had Matt Scott lined up to the left of the left tackle there, but they lose the ball in the exchange, and Winters gets it right back to give him excellent field position at just about the 40-yard line.
We were just talking about, the Gridley Bulldogs capitalizing on Winters' mistakes. What you can't do, though, is make your own mistakes. And that's the second mistake second turnover that the Bulldogs have in this game, and it's still the first quarter. So this defense, even though they just gave up a big touchdown, they're going to have to get back on this field and really inspire their team and hold them here.
And so Chris Mays back into the shotgun, waiting for the snap. And so with the man in motion, he's going to hand it off to him, and he's going to break out the right-hand side, and he's going to get hit really hard there. And there's going to be a late flag on the field. And so the ball's going to be spotted at just about the 30-yard line, but there is a flag on the field, and so we're going to have to see what's going on down there. It might have been some chipping.
Yeah, they usually get a little bit chippy. Obviously, if you're the Bulldogs already down by 2 scores, excuse me, it's easy to get frustrated early, but, you can't let that scoreboard taunt you too much. Got to hold your emotions. It's a big night for them, senior night. Just got to lock it in, play some good football.
And so it's going to be a 15-yard penalty against Winters. And might be taunting down there. But when the referee has both arms out, that means it's kind of like a technical foul. Yeah, all right.
No, and if you're the Warriors, you're trying to stay in that playoff hunt, and if you want to get in the playoffs, it's mistakes like that you can't make. You got a team on its heels like that, had a 1st and 10, nice little pickup, and that's going to get negated and make it a 2nd and long here.
And so the Winters Warriors battling themselves here, and they're going to do pretty much the same play on the left-hand side, and he does have room to run, and he is running, and he's going to be out of bounds. Excuse me, he's going to be in the end zone for a touchdown. It's like I said, it's hard from this perspective to see on that side of the field, but they are going to call it a touchdown, so a huge play there.
Huge play. Looks like they got Lowry in that same sweep play on the outside. Wide receivers are able to make up some nice blocks, and Lowry able to walk the tightrope and plunge into the end zone for another 6 points.
And so he ran past everybody And it looks like he was being pursued quite heavily on the sideline, but he beat the pursuit and got in for the score. And so the kick is up. And the kick is no good. And so Winters Warriors is only going to go up by 20 here, but they are up by 3 scores. And the end of the first quarter hasn't even expired. There's 41 seconds left. And so Gridley's going to have to get something going here. Even though Winters has been shooting himself in the foot on penalties and other things like that, Gridley has to capitalize.
Yeah, both teams have made mistakes. Mostly for Winters, it's the penalty mistakes. If it's Gridley, it's the the turnovers. But it's the Warriors that have really taken advantage of the mistakes so far. And Gridley's going to have to. Both teams are going to have to clean up their mistakes. But Gridley really can't afford any more miscues for the rest of the second half, the rest of the first half if they want to stay in this thing.
And so the band playing a little bit here, trying to boost morale, because it's a real morale crusher. Go down by 3 scores. And so I'm guessing the coach, John Cooprider, is going to have to establish morale for his team so they're not hanging their heads out there. And we've seen it way too many times this season. And so it's going to be, the kick is up, and it's going to be fielded at just about the 20-yard line. And he does break away, and so a decent little pickup there. He's past the 30-yard line. It's going to be spotted at just about the 35, right around there, 33.
Yeah, if you're the Bulldogs, forget that the score is 20-0. Forget that your season record right now. Just think about this drive because that's the one thing you can control right now. Offensive line, get your hands inside, drive off the ball, if you're, Matt Scott, make the right reads, and just get a solid drive here and put points on the board. And it's amazing how one touchdown can really change the complexion of a game.
And I've said it before, not only does that, it boosts your momentum as well. And so it's going to be a fake there. And it looks like it was number 10, Jonathan Felibania.
And Chaz Matthews, number 4, busy once again. Bulldogs tried to run a little trap play right there. But Matthews said, Just put him back in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
And so it's going to be 2nd and long here, 2nd and 12 to be exact on the 31-yard line. And it looks like they're going to try to get off a play before the first quarter ends. There's just about 3 seconds left. And so they do. And he's going to pass the little bubble screen out to number 28, Austin Amberson. And so he's going to gain just about 4 yards, but that's going to do it here for the first quarter as the Bulldogs are trailing here 20-0. And so Winters stepping up in this game and dominating on pretty much all aspects of the field, including special teams with the first play of the game.
Yeah, it's if you're the Bulldogs, that opening fumble or that not even a fumble, just a miscue, not realizing that the ball is live after 10 yards is a huge mistake and really kind of shifted momentum squarely to the Warriors very early. Still a lot of football left here for these Bulldogs, and if you're a senior on that Bulldog squad, I know I'd be pretty fired up to try to get my team going to try to get that first win at home tonight.
And so tonight, the weather is clear, and it's going to drop down to about the 40s tonight. So I've already got my flannel sweater on because it's pretty cold here in the booth.
You sound like my other counterpart, Matt Millinger, who's complaining cold at 60 degrees. Come on, man. It's football weather.
Hey, sure. And so Matt Scott behind center, and it looks like it might be encroachment there, but it depends on who they call it on.
It looks like it was Richard Guerrero trying to anticipate that snap count and just gets over the line and puts his hands on the center, and it's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
And so that's going to make it a 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 on the 39-yard line. And so Winters showing that they're making mistakes too on the defensive side of the ball, but since Gridley can't get it done on the offense, the score is what we see. And so it's going to be a little bubble screen out to number 2, and he shakes a defender, and he is past the chains, and the chains will move here, and he's just about at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Shobi Khan showing everyone that he's got moves like Jagger on that play. Nice little Jimmy right there to spring him free and get the first down and keep this drive alive.
He's got that Jagger swagger, huh?
So far in this game, he's going to need a lot more of it.
And so Mapscott is under center yet again with a fresh set of downs on the 45-yard line. And so he's going to hand it off here to Amberson. And the ball does come out, but there is a flag on the play. And so number 3, Chris Mays, comes up with the fumble, and we'll have to see here if it's a turnover.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to run that power play away from Chaz Matthews, who's been blowing it up early and often in this first half. Picked up a nice few blocks, just couldn't hold on to the ball. Let's see if Winters capitalizes on another turnover here, if it's going to be a penalty on the Warriors.
And so the referee's discussing it here, and we're going to have to wait. And it's going to be a personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense. And so with that, they will keep the ball, and it's automatic first down.
And I was going to say, I'm sorry, that's a tough play for a young man to make on the tackle. You know, you want to make the tackle and get your hands on him, but you just got to remember inside that collar right there, you can't touch. And that's a huge break that the Bulldogs needed right there to keep this drive alive.
And it's also unfortunate that the Bulldogs, the only way they're driving here is from Winters penalties. And so they have to get it done on offense to even make a game of this.
Yeah, unofficially Winters' 6th penalty here in the first half.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Amberson, and he's not going to get around the corner there, so he's only going to pick up just about 2 yards on the play.
Chaz Matthews once again hunkering down, sitting down in that nice little power hole and blowing up the power play. They ran it away from him last time and got some success. They're going to have to keep doing that because Chaz Matthews is not fooled by that play at all so far.
And so Winters' defense has been a little bit stingy here, but the penalties have caused them not. And so it's going to be a handoff to the fullback, and he's going to get a pretty decent pickup, just about 6 here. So it's going to be a 3rd and short, or at least a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, good push there by the offensive line, and Richard Benish able to plug right through the center of that Winters defense. Excuse me, that was Jonathan Villapana on the run there. Sorry, I need a little more sass when I say it.
Well, that's what we need, you know. It was 40. It was 40. Excuse me. And so it's going to be Villapana, and he's going to go right around the right-hand side, and so it's going to be a huge pickup of 29 yards. And so here in the second quarter, they're finally on the board with a touchdown.
Yeah, looks like they finally wisened up and ran the ball away from Chaz Matthews and found a lot of real estate on the right-hand side, and that's the lift this Bulldog team and fan base definitely needed.
And so that's going to push some momentum the Bulldogs' way, and they're showing that they have playmaking abilities as well, running the ball. And so as we're ready for the extra point, and so the band and the fans here get a nice little jolt. And I'm looking down, I'm seeing smiling faces and all kinds of war paint everywhere. Blue and gold.
Yeah, I'm sure this fan base was a little anxious going down by 3 scores, but with the addition of that extra point right there, this makes it a 2-score game, and with a lot of football left, we could be in for an interesting one here.
And so Gridley gets on the board with their first touchdown of the game with a 29-yard pickup by Jonathan Villapana, the junior.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have been kind of struggling to run the ball so far in this first half, especially to Chris Mays and Chaz Matthews' sides have really been locking down that edge, but luckily they ran it away from them, found a little bit of real estate, and made this a 2-score game, and like as we said, put a lot of life back into this team.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here. And so here in this second quarter with under 10 minutes to go, 9:48 left in this half. And so they're going to fake the kickoff here. And they are going to do a little onside kick. It was just a little booter there.
Yeah, a little blooper just over the defenders.
Wasn't exactly a rope. It was just kind of like a hot air balloon. Just up and down.
Yeah, interesting call there. You know, you want to be aggressive and try to get the ball back, but the only time that Winners has really been successful is when they've had really decent field position. They had that one nice drive where, you know, Chris Mays kind of had that nice 45-yard run or so, but no, I would have actually considered backing them up and giving them a long field to work with, especially with all the mistakes they've been making so far.
And so Mays is ready, and he's going to take it himself, and he gets the right flank there, and so he picks up a decent 8 yards. And so Mays showing what he can do on the ground, as we said before. He's way over 1,000 yards now for the season.
That's right. And
somebody to watch out.
That's right. Good play design there. Try to fake the sweep to Jacob Lowry, which was the scoring play the last time they had the ball. And Mays keeps it right there and makes a nice chunk of yardage right there.
And so Mays in the shotgun formation with a 4-receiver set. And so they're going to see in motion, and he's going to hand it off to the halfback this time. And he cuts to the left, and he cuts back up through the right and through the middle. And so they couldn't get a tackle there, and so it's going to be a nice pickup. And so it's going to be enough to move the chains.
Yeah, Jacob Lowry not showing us his speed on that last series, showing us his vision right there to make the nice cutback and get some first down yardage. Good job by the offensive line to sustain their blocks and let Lowry read the play.
And so showing their run game what they can do here. It's eating up a lot of clock. And it's going to be at the 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. And so in motion again, number 12, and he fakes to the halfback, but he hands it off to his fullback. And he picks up a good chunk of yards here. And so Chaz Matthews getting into the act with a nice little decent pickup of 5, maybe even 6 yards.
Yeah, we've been calling Chaz Matthews names early and often on defense, and he gets a little love from this coach with a handoff right there, doing a little double duty tonight on both sides of the ball.
And so is the Warriors are ready for their play here. It's going to be a shotgun with a 3-receiver set, but there's a whistle on the field.
Looks like we might possibly have some blood on Richard Benish, asked to leave the field. It looks like he's getting taped up right now. Hopefully he'll be back in soon.
And so as we're ready here, Mays is ready. And with a man in motion, he keeps it himself, and he runs up the middle, and he has no one to beat, and it's a touchdown yet again for Mays. And so Mays showing what he can do with a 32-yard pickup with 7:43 left here in this half. And so they're going to go up by 3 scores now, or close to it. It's going to be 26-7 over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Bulldog defense a little too distracted there by Jacob Lowry, too worried about that sweep play, which burned them in the last series. Had no one to account for the quarterback keeper, and Chris Mays could have skipped in the end zone at that rate because there was no one right in front of him.
And so as we wait for Luis Montez's kick for the PAT, and the kick is up, and it is good. And so it's going to be 27-7 now. And so Warriors running all over the Bulldogs here in this first half.
Running all over indeed, Frank. 4 touchdowns so far, none of them in the air. You know, and they haven't really shown anything too much in the air, but when you're running the football like this, throwing a lot of misdirection, a lot of stuff for the Bulldogs defense to think about, and they're thinking about it too much as they're letting the Warriors just run rampant all over that defense.
Yeah, and so Winters dominating here, but they did lose 3 of their last 4 games. Their last win was on October 12th, like we said in the pregame. But the offense does average 358 yards per game, 296 rushing, and only 62 passing. So as we're seeing as a good indicator in this game, they're looking that they would be right on average.
Yeah, they definitely have the offense that can contend with, a lot of teams in the division too. It's their defense. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, when they lose, their defense gives up 44 points a game. So if they can keep opponents under that 30-point mark, they have a pretty good chance of winning a lot of their ball games.
And so the kick is up, and it is going to be returned to just about the 27-yard line. And so a nice little decent pickup. It's going to be spotted at the 28-yard line, excuse me. So 7:37 left here in this half of play, and it's been all Winters, but Winters has been shooting themselves in the foot. It could be 43-7 now if they didn't incur so many penalties, but their defense has been a little bit sloppy here. And so since they're a number 7 playoff team, that's not going to go well in the playoffs. And so it's going to be a handoff here. And so he's going to be mobbed by a sea of tacklers there, and he's past the 30-yard line, just about the 34. What was that?
Yeah, talking about this, we were mentioning, the Warriors' offense. This Bulldogs offense has been struggling throughout most of the year, but they've really been the source of inspiration of whatever inspiration exists for this Bulldogs team, and they're going to need to call upon them again to get a big score and keep them in contention in this game.
And so he's going to fake the pitch, the left-hand side, and hand it onto the inside. And so he's going to be mobbed yet again, but he is going to pick up a couple of, and so that was Michael Stolman on the carry.
Yeah, the Bulldogs try to throw a little bit of their own misdirection in there, the little trap play, but Chaz Matthews once again getting his nose dirty, blowing up the pull block, and is just having a fantastic game on both sides of the ball. Scored the first touchdown for the Bulldogs in the first quarter and is having a huge impact on defense.
And so Matt Scott under center, and it's going to be a flag on the field. And so both teams moving, we have to see who they call. And it's going to be offsides on Winters. And so Winters showing us again, that's their 7th penalty of the game. And most of it has been on defense. And so it's going to be an automatic first down at just about the 42-yard line. And so that will keep the clock running. And so Scott, under center here, is going to hand it off, but it is going to be fumbled. And we'll have to see who they give it to here, but the handoff was not clean. And Winters does recover for their second fumble recovery of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, their second fumble recovery, and so that drive ended in a quick hurry. And so now Winters gets excellent field position past midfield, just about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the kind of mistake you didn't want there as a Bulldogs offense. Your defense isn't playing too well, and you need some sort of scoring drive there to give your defense a chance to catch their breath and make some adjustments. Now, if for the Bulldogs, they have to stay disciplined, read those reads correctly, not keep your eyes out of the backfield, and watch the offensive line, because those are going to tell you where the play is going.
And so Mays back here with a huge run last time. And so he gets to the end around here, and he hands it off to number 7, and he's all alone. And so it's going to be a 42-yard touchdown reception by Nico Rojas, the junior, excuse me. And so a little razzle-dazzle there. And it faked me out for just a second.
Yeah, beautiful little razzle-dazzle reverse right there. Faked a little end around, gave it to Rojas coming on the other side and completely had left this Gridley defense flat-footed right there. And unfortunately, that's going to put another score on the board.
And so the Warriors are going to be up 33-7 now. And the kick is up, and it is good. And so it's going to be 34-7 now. And the Warriors are dominating every aspect of this game and getting it done on the ground, like we said before. And so that's really going to help them going into the playoffs. But they're going to have to really clean up those penalties because that's not going to fly against a much better team.
Right. Right now, as we mentioned earlier, they're sitting at the 7 spot. They would love to maybe, pick up a couple games and maybe jump up to that 6 spot, because if they end up in that 7 and 8 spot, they're either going to have to play, likely going to have to play either number 1 Sutter, or I believe Wheatland is not too far, too, from that number 2 spot. Either way, it doesn't matter who you play, whether it's Sutter or anyone else in the northern section. You make that too many mistakes, penalty-wise, they're going to get you. Maybe not against a team like Gridley, but assuredly in the playoffs.
And so Winters is ready to kick off here as the band plays on here in Gridley. And with that, the music stopped.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and so the kickoff is up. And so it's going to be returned here at number 24, and he's going to be smashed down to about 31-yard line. And so, so Christopher Kastner with a return. A little decent return, about 15 yards. And so, but he was hit pretty hard.
And I'm going to reiterate a little bit what I said the last time the Bulldogs had a successful drive. Disregard the scoreboard. Disregard your record right now. Just focus on the next play. Focus on this drive.
And just have fun out there.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself. It's senior night.
And so he's going to pass it downfield for number 2, and it's going to be over the head. But Shobi Khan did have a couple of steps on Christian Corrales. And so junior versus junior, they're in the foot race, but Matt Scott threw it just a little bit too hard on that play. But like I said, having fun, that's a very fun play for a quarterback and a receiver to make.
Yeah, and that's really a play that could have gotten them back in this play, in this game. Unfortunately, they couldn't. They haven't really found each other yet tonight and really synced up. Let's see if they can do that again here.
And so it's going to be a pass out, and it is complete. And he's going to get a little hook and ladder action here, and he does break it out to the right-hand side, and he makes 2 defenders miss, and he's going to run all the way in to the end zone for a touchdown. And so a huge play there.
And the Boneyard is rocking once again with that score. What a fantastic play there by Leo Espinoza. I thought it was a bit of a mistake. He didn't cut up field right away with that ball, but he, exhibits speed. Got a nice block there by Shobi Khan to spring him loose. And it was bye-bye baby after that for 6 points.
For sure. Yeah, that was a football equivalent of a home run. And so he started just about the 31-yard line, and he caught the ball on the left-hand side of the field, cut back to the right-hand side of the field, and then took it all the way in. And so huge play there. That was a momentum shifter, regardless of the score. And the fans go crazy here on senior night, and that's got to feel good.
Yeah, as I said before, the offense has been a source of inspiration for the Bulldogs so far this game. They're really going to need their defense to come up with a big stop on the next series.
And so Matt Scott back, and they're going to try for the 2, and he's going to throw back over his body, and he is going to convert it for 2, and so it's going to be 15-34 now. A lot better than 28-0. So the Gridley strikes back here with a little razzle-dazzle of their own.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging to see, out of an 0-8 team. It could have been very easy for them, to put their head in the sand and be like, oh no, here we go again. But like I said, home field advantage can seem a little underrated sometimes. But, tonight they're definitely thriving off that home cooking right now.
And so with their momentum warming up here, they're looking to take that onto the defensive side of the ball, which has been porous. It's been a little Swiss cheese out there with all the runs. And
Yeah, they're just going to need to stay a lot more discipline on their reads. It's not so much, tackling is a factor, but on a misdirection offense like that, especially linebackers, you have to stay disciplined to the offensive line and what they're doing, because if you get your head stuck in the backfield, you're not going to know where the ball is, and by the time you realize where it is, it's 15 yards behind you in the end zone.
And as we're ready for Gridley to kick it off for the second time in this game, and they did do a little offside, little bloop action last time. And so we'll have to wait here. And the kick is up, and it's caught just about the 21-yard line. It is going to be returned, and he does find a hole, and so he brings it back up to just about midfield. And so a great pickup there by Caleb Wise. Nico Rojas, Jr., 5'9", 170. He's showing a little bit of speed there and a little good awareness of where the defenders are, and he takes it to almost midfield. And so great starting position for Winters yet again. This has happened all game. And so
yeah, and if you're the Warriors, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let the Bulldogs, make a stop here and force you to throw the ball. Other than that, just keep that ball on the ground and pound it out.
And so Mays is ready, and he does hand it off to his favorite running back here, other than himself, obviously. And so it's going to be picked up just about 4 yards, and they're probably going to give him forward progression, maybe even 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, the Warriors trying to go back with that sprint option there. Not sprint option, but that sweep play.
And Jacob Lowry.
By Jacob Lowry, but Bulldogs defense did a better job reading that and staying home. A nice gang tackle there to force a second and 6 yards here.
And if you're ever in the middle of one of those gang tackles, it's a scary feeling.
Especially if you're the running back. You don't know how much weight's coming on you.
And so it's going to be handed off here to the big fullback, number 7, Nico Rojas, who's showing his speed there. And so he gets very close to the first down marker. Yeah, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, the Warriors have thrown a lot of different looks at the Bulldogs, but it's been pretty simple. They have a lot of wing backs, a lot of tight ends. Right there they had, 2 wing backs right there, but it's pretty simple. They're just going to get the ball to the outside and use their speed. See what they come up here with 3rd and short.
And so Chris Mays back, waiting for the snap, and in motion is he's going to keep it himself. I'm sorry about that. And he is going to be past the first down marker.
Yeah, that handoff there fooled you, me, and the Bulldog defense right there. Nice play fake there by Chris Mays. And good hard running to get the first down.
And so good fake by Jacob Lowry on that play to make it look like he had the ball. And it looked like he was going to do a little razzle-dazzle, little running back, halfback pass. And while I was looking at that, Chris Mays took it right up the middle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that, a little bit later in the game if Lowry does throw that ball, because that was set up beautifully.
And so with just about 3 minutes left in this half, the Warriors are up. And so under 3 minutes, we're waiting on Mays. And he fakes the handoff, and he's going to go to the air. And it is going to be caught. And as soon as we get the number, we'll let you know. But it's caught for just about 12 yards. And
it looks like we might have a fumble.
Yeah, it might be a fumble there. And it is going to be awarded to the Bulldogs. So a turnover there for the Bulldogs is going to get him back in business. And so unfortunate there for Caleb Wise, the senior. And so he loses it.
Yeah, the Warriors try to get a little aggressive there in the passing game, try to force the issue. It was a nice ball by Chris Mays to his receiver, Christian Corrales, but it looks like the defender made a nice play to pop it out, and that's exactly what this Bulldog team needs to try to make this, one-score game again.
And so Matt Scott and company back out on the field, and he is going to roll out and then pass a little screen here, but it's going to be picked up beautifully by the Winters Warriors defense, and so they're not even going to pick up not even a yard. just shy of it.
Excuse me, try to make it a 2-score game,
excuse me.
Which doesn't sound like a big difference, but 2 scores going into the half, this sounds a lot sweeter than 3 scores.
Right, and if your defense can hold them and you only score, once a quarter.
And our producer, Ron Borges, giving us some updates around the Division II. West Valley currently leading Anderson 21-2. And number 3, Live Oak, tied in a tight one with Pierce, number 7 all.
And sorry to interrupt there, but that was a long, long pass.
Sorry about that.
To
I got a little too slow on that one.
Leo Espinoza, and it's going to be incomplete. And so Espinoza had just about a step on him, but the defender got in the way. Good closing speed shown there. And so it's going to be 3rd and 8 on the 28 with under 2 minutes left here in this half.
Let's see if the Bulldogs try to run that combination route that got him a first down earlier in the first quarter.
And so he is going to step in the pocket, and he passes it out, and it is going to be bumbled a little bit by number 2, and he does get away, and he has no one to beat, and so he's sprinting down the sideline. He's trying to cut it back up, but he's going to fall just about the 20, even 19-yard line. And so Shobi Khan with the reception, and so he bobbled it up in the air. It was nearly fumbled there, but he picked it back up and kept running with it. So the defender
showing a tremendous amount of heart right there, reaching up, going all the way up the ladder to make a tough catch, and able to break a couple tackles right there to get a huge first down as the clock still ticks here at the end of the first half.
So 1:30 left here. It's 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line. And Scott's going to hand it off to his fullback, and he does get some positive yardage there. And that was Richard Benish up the middle. And so Richard Benish showing what he can do, and that was about 9-yard pickup. So it's going to be a second and 9.
Now, if you're the Bulldogs here, don't get too hasty. You want to milk a little bit of that clock because you know what that Winters running game could do. So try to get down as close as you can. You still have all your timeouts. So make some smart decisions here.
And so the Bulldogs knocking on the door here, and the snap is fumbled. And so it's going to be recovered. And it's going to be recovered by the Bulldogs. And it looks like Matt Scott just kind of fell on it, which is what you're taught to do when you drop the snap.
It looks like the Bulldogs will be taking a timeout here to discuss strategy.
And I think that's a good idea there to kind of breathe a little bit because there's 51 seconds left on the clock.
The Bulldogs haven't had a ton of success here passing the ball in the first half, but when it has, it's been a result of Shobi Khan. First of all, with that first big play we just saw there, but earlier, Shobi Khan had a nice block to spring Espinoza free for about the 60-yard touchdown. So, if you're the Bulldogs, you might be thinking about getting Khan in space. Running game hasn't been too effective, so try to get the ball into his hands because he's shown great capability so far here in this first half.
And as the timeout is over, we're waiting on Matt Scott and company because they are knocking on the door. And so, like I said before, 51 is 3rd and 1 on the 11-yard line, and it's going to be a QB sneak, and he sneaks through the defensive line, and it is going to be a touchdown. And so it's going to be an 11-yard pickup from Matt Scott on the keeper. And so with 45 seconds left here in this half, the Bulldogs go up to 21. It's now 21-34, and it was looking like hope was lost for the Bulldogs, but they pull within a score. And so, or they pull within 2 scores, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a huge momentum play there. Matt Scott trying to go with the hard count to get the defense to jump, able to make a nice push. And it looks like Winters just kind of gave up on the play right there and didn't really know what was going on, and that's discouraging if you're, head coach Daniel Ward.
And so it's going to be a 2-point conversion, and it is going to be converted. And so Shobi Khan on a reception there by Matt Scott. And so that's going to push their score up to 23. It is now 23-34. And so the Bulldogs have come back here at the last half of this, or the last half of this half. if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, it does. It's really been the
Very
second
exciting.
quarter where the Bulldogs have really shown their grit. You know, they've taken a few punches by this Winters offense, but their offense has, like I said, has really kept them in this game. And, you know, an offense all year that's been averaging 5 points a game is now at the 23-point mark. So that's got to be really encouraging. And look for the second half to see Matt Scott carry the ball a lot more. Big physical quarterback. You might want to be thinking about letting him have a few more touches as well.
So the last part of this second quarter has proved very good for the Bulldogs. It was looking like it was going to be a woodshed beating by Winters at the onset of the second quarter, but Bulldogs come back and get within 10.
That makes everyone
11,
here.
excuse me.
That
God,
makes
I can't
everyone.
do math. Man. Every week, man, it just gets worse.
That's okay. What matters here is that the Boneyard here is pretty happy with that comeback right there. Now, they can't afford too many mistakes. Winters also has all their timeouts as well, so let's see if they can get a late score here.
And so Matt Scott with the kick, and it is going to be muffed a little bit here, but he does find a hole there, and he's going to be rocked. And that was Alex Lopez on the return, and he got rocked just around the 40-yard line, so a pretty decent 20-yard pickup. And it's about the 39-yard line as they adjust. And so Winters with 38 seconds left in this half, going to try to march downfield and get another score to kind of pull away.
Yeah, the Warriors really haven't shown too much in the passing game so far, really because they really haven't had to. The nice pass play that they had ended their last series with a fumble. So let's see what Chris Mays and the gang can do here.
And so the clock is running, and it's going to be a running play with Mays, and he does get up the middle, and he's showing that speed, and he is pursued, but he is going to beat everybody, it looks like, on the left-hand side, and it looks like he stepped out at just about the 8-yard line with 5 seconds left. And so a huge pickup by Mays yet again. And so he's picked up just about a truckload of yards in this game.
Yeah, he's forgotten about that 1,000-yard mark and is going for about 1,200 right now. And like they said, they kept it simple. They have not stopped that. The Bulldogs have not stopped that play all night. And if you're the defense, you might want to be thinking about switching to some sort of spy defense just to have a man on Mays for the rest of the night, because that play has burned them multiple times.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree to keep the contain there. But with Mays, he's not going out to the outside. He's going up through the middle, and so it's the linebackers who have
They got to stay home
a little bit.
Exactly.
Here.
They got to stay home. Let the defensive ends and the cornerbacks worry about, let them worry about Lowry and Rojas on the outside. You got to stay home, because Chris Mays not only showed that he has the vision, but he's got a little bit of breakaway speed. And it was nice touchdown-saving tackle at the end there.
And what I noticed is that the linebackers are backing up off the line, and when they do that and the defensive line pushes forward, that creates a big gap there, and Mays, that's where he turns on the afterburners right there, and it's impossible to catch him once he turns those on. Obviously, we've seen it 3 times in this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to play really aggressive, not only in the second half, but especially with 5 seconds left here.
And so it's going to be a 1st and 10 on the 9-yard line, as Mays is going to empty backfield with a 4-receiver set. And so there's going to be a little motion here, and it's going to be a pass, and he passes it down the middle, and it's going to be caught. Ben Case on the reception and the touchdown there. And so as the second half winds down, they get another touchdown, and it's going to be 40-23 now. And so the buzzer did sound.
Yeah, that was a very simple pitch and catch right there. Not much effort by the Bulldog defense to stop that one. Just a quick little seam route over the middle. Mays the Case, and that takes a little bit of wind out of the Bulldog sails, but they proved they have plenty of fight left in this game. We could be in for a highly entertaining second half.
And as we wait for the extra point here, Luis Montez, the kicker, awaits now, and he's been perfect. Or he has not. He's 3 for 4. And so it's through. And it is good. And so that's the end of the first half of play with the Winters Warriors leading the Gridley Bulldogs by a score of 41-23. We'll be back in a few moments with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. It's Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Hold on. Welcome to PlayOnSports.com halftime show, coming to you from the Boneyard in Gridley, California. I'm Frank Durienzo alongside Nick Dobis. Our halftime score is the Winter Warriors with a score of 41 leading the Gridley Bulldogs 23.
Yeah, the game didn't start too well for the Bulldogs with that special teams miscue, but they've kind of weathered the winter storm here and have actually, stormed back when it seemed like they, were down by multiple scores and this was going to be a laugher. The Bulldogs have come back twice, a lot of it by inspirational play by Shobi Khan, springing Espinoza free on that 60-yard pass play and having a nice 2-point conversion as well. So if the Bulldogs do want to make this a game, though, they're going to have to find a way to stop the running game because out of the 6 touchdowns that the Warriors have had, 5 of those have been on running plays. So linebackers are going to have to play a little more aggressive to the line, make those accurate reads, and going to have to come up with another turnover or so to get the Bulldogs back in it.
And so Gridley's defense going to have to step up here, but I'm like what I'm seeing from Matt Scott, their quarterback. He's a pretty good player. He's missed a couple deep throws in that first half, which could have been this game could have been a lot closer if those were actually caught.
Yeah, and he shows a lot of potential in the running play too, or in the running game too. They've had to use him in a couple quarterback sneaks, one of which went for a touchdown. But, he's a big kid who's got some long legs and can really, show some stride out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Cooprider maybe has some more design plays for the young man, just because there's a lot of potential in that running game through him.
And I'm excited to see a little hook and ladder action because it turns out it was just going to be a bread and butter little reception, but he cut it back over the right of the field. And who was that? Espinoza, like you had mentioned, and so I'm waiting to see a little bit more razzle-dazzle here.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs are really playing like a team like they have nothing to lose, which is honestly the case. But that's exactly what this home crowd wants to see. You're obviously out of playoff contention and whatnot, but it's senior night. You want to play well. I'm sure the razzle-dazzle isn't done yet, especially with this Bulldog team, and I hope the fight isn't out of them because even though they're down by multiple scores, I think they still have a really solid chance of making this a good game because, Winters has done well successfully on the ground, but they've really shot themselves in the foot with penalties, 7 penalties going into the first half. So if they want to, extend their lead and not make it close, they're going to have to clean those up.
And so with the players coming back onto the field, that's going to do it for our PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Friday Night Football will return in just a few moments with the start of the second half, right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. You're watching PlayOnSports.com's presentation of Friday Night Football, live from Gridley, California. I'm Frank DiRienzo with Nick Domas. The Winters Warriors lead the Gridley Bulldogs 41-23 as we get ready to start the second half of action. And let's reiterate what we discussed in our halftime show, that Gridley Bulldogs are going to be kicking off to the Winters Warriors, and so what do you suggest that the Bulldogs should do here on defense starting out?
Well, just limit their mistakes. As we said in the halftime show, both teams have had mistakes. Defensively, it's just really important that, especially the linebackers, get their reads down, get their eyes out of the backfield, and make the reads on the offensive line. If they want to have any chance of stopping this running game tonight, that's what they're going to have to do, and force some big turnovers because their offense has actually been playing pretty well, so they're going to have to make some big turnovers here to affect this game.
And so it is going to be a onside kick, but I think it hit a Bulldog in the process, but is before the 10 yards, and so Warriors are going to pick up excellent field position here again with another special teams gaff.
Yeah, just a kind of a repeat gaff.
So they did exactly the opposite of what you told them to
do. Like I said, limit the mistakes. And, unfortunately, I think Matt Scott got a little excited there, wants to make the big play, to start the second half. But you got to make sure that ball gets 10 yards so your player, the rest of your teammates can make a play on it. Now you give, a winner's running game that's been running rampant on you some excellent field position here.
Was that rapid or rampant?
Rapid and rampant, actually.
Okay, cool. And so it's going to be a handoff right up the middle, and he does have some room, and he gets spun around there, and so he's very close to the first down. Very close, and it looks like he does have a first down, so a good pickup of 10 yards there by Chaz Matthews.
Yeah, I was saying that, the linebacker play for the Bulldogs needs to improve, but, tip of the cap here to this Winters offensive line, disrupting that linebacker core right there and making it really frustrating on this defense.
And so we're ready here as Chris Mays lines up. And as we mentioned before, he has over 1,000 yards rushing himself. And so he's going to roll out, and he gets away from the pressure, and he throws it, and it's going to be intercepted by number 21, Leo Espinoza, and he goes on the right side of the field, and he's going to be tackled at just about the 26-yard line. And so a fantastic interception there, poor throw, and a great interception, great read.
Poor throw, but you know what? Good things come to those who blitz, all right? Bulldogs sent both linebackers at that time, didn't give Chris Mays the time to throw, made a bad pass, and Espinoza was right there, Johnny on the spot, to make the big interception. And let's see if the Bulldogs can capitalize on it.
And so despite getting the good field position, they turn it over near the goal line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 26 for the Bulldogs now, and we'll have to see what Matt Scott and company can do to drive down the field. And so he's going to hand it off here to the right-hand side, but he's not going to get back to – he can get just maybe a half a yard on that, and that was Richard Benish on the carry.
Yeah, not too much success on that play, but you know what? I think they're going to try to keep the running plays away from Chaz Matthews and that strong side of that Warrior defense because it was pretty dominant in the first half.
And so Matt Scott in the shotgun with the one receiver set, and he fakes it to Belichick. He's going to take it himself, and he cuts up the field, but he's only going to pick up just about 3 yards, maybe even 2 on the play. So it's going to be a 3rd and long here with 10:30 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, could have been a bigger play there, but Chaz Matthews once again sheds off Austin Amberson, who held his block there but just couldn't hold it long enough to give his quarterback a chance to make some real yardage. And it's going to bring up a very testy 3rd down here and a big one for the Bulldogs.
And so 3rd and 7 on the 30-yard line with just about 10 minutes left here to go. And Scott's going to be under center this time. He rolls out to the right-hand side. He's looking for a receiver. He throws it downfield, and so it's going to be intercepted. Sorry for the delay there, but we're kind of blocked on this side of the field for anything that goes on there from our perspective, but it looks like it's going to be intercepted, so they give the ball right back.
Yeah, it looks like
amazing.
Yeah, it looks like there was a penalty on that play, but unfortunately it was against the Bulldogs, so a little insult to injury there. So not only are the Warriors are going to retain possession, but they're going to have some excellent field position here, and it's too bad. The Bulldogs got the momentum shifter there and the interception by Espinoza, but it looks like Mother Momentum is cooking some momentum back in the winner's kitchen right now.
And so 9:47 left here in this third quarter, and Winters gets it back at the 34-yard line, and so he hands it up the middle, and he's bumbling all over the place on that play, but he does pick up 4, however, awkwardly. And that was Chaz Matthews on the carry.
Yeah, one of the bright spots on this defensive line for the Bulldogs has been Andrew McCracken. Right there makes a nice stop to shed the black and shows a little, crackle and pop on that one. To stop the running back after a few yards.
McCrackle and pop, I love it.
Come on, kids.
Come on, kids, yeah.
Everyone loves their breakfast cereal.
Yeah, everybody.
Come on.
Everybody loves that. And so it's going to be a handoff here, and he does have some blocking up front. And so Lowry. No. That was 10. No, Ben Case. Sorry. There, whoever it was a good little pickup there. And it's going to be a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and this is a very anxious. Yeah, this is a very anxious time for that Bulldog defense. You got a turnover in your last play. Unfortunately, your offense gives it right back to the Warriors. And they're going to need a huge play right here in order to force a 4th down.
And so Chris Mays. And so he's going to take it himself up the middle, and he cuts back over to the right, but it's going to be enough for the 1st down. He's going to pick up just about 7 yards on the play. And so a good little reaction and good blocking downfield is going to get Mays a couple more rushing yards. Why not?
Yeah, we were talking about how we kind of wish to see Matt Scott run the ball a little bit more, but if you're that Bulldogs defense, you don't want to see Chris Mays running the ball, making the nice read, the nice play action or nice sweep fake right there, and get some good yards for the 1st down and really put some pressure on this Bulldog defense.
And so with that, it's going to be a 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. 8:20, and the clock is running down. And so man is in motion. And he hands it off up the middle to Chaz Matthews, right up the middle, and he picks up a decent gain, just about 4 yards. And so it's going to be a 2nd and 6 here, just about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, they've been working that left side of the offensive line right now, going straight at Andrew McCracken. Had a nice play earlier, but was double-teamed right there and gave Chaz Matthews some nice yardage.
Matt Crackle and Pop. Huh? And so it's going to be a handoff here to number 7, and he cuts up field, and it's going to be good enough for the 1st down. And so that was Nico Rojas. And so Benish got the tackle on that play.
And Nico Rojas showing his speed in the first half with a nice reverse. Exhibits it once again there, and there's a lot of weapons on this winner's offense, and gives you a lot to think about, and will give a lot of teams to think about in the playoffs if they get there.
And that was a good fake by Mays there. He drew off the safeties on that play, and so he's going to keep it himself, and so he's going to run he's going to run into the end zone here, and so another touchdown with the quarterback keeper here, and it's going to be a 9-yard touchdown run, and that's going to push the Winters Warriors to 47 now. And so 47-23 our score now with 7:06 left in the 3rd quarter.
Just more of the same, really. Not too much to analyze right there. Just a nice quarterback fake, and he's just going to ride that offensive line straight into the end zone. And it looks like the Gridley Bulldogs kind of gave up at the end of the play there as well. So let's see how much fight they have left in them.
And so Mays turning in a stellar performance here in this game, and the game isn't even over yet. And he might be our player of the game by the end of the night.
Certainly could be, especially completing the hat trick right there, and we'll see if he's got a few more touchdowns left in him as well.
And so the kick is up, but it is no good, and so the score's going to stay right where it's at, 47-23. The Winters is over the Bulldogs. And one thing to mention that we mentioned before with the Bulldogs, this is the most they've scored all season, and so on senior night here, it's got to feel pretty good, but there's still a sour taste because they're getting beaten pretty badly.
Yeah, it feels good, but in this case, there's no moral victories, especially when you're sitting at an 0-8 record. At this point, they need to get back to, as I said before, just forget about the scoreboard, forget about the record. This is the last night you as a team are going to be together on this field this season. So it's really time just to, lay it all on the line, play as hard as you can, and maybe find a way to make this a respectable score. But other than that, they've been really hesitant to kick the ball deep. I don't know if they're trying to keep it away from I don't know if Shobi Khan is back there. We've seen his exhibition of speed as well. So I don't know if they're just preventing, a big run return, but they've been giving the Bulldogs some decent field position, and they get it once again right here.
And so it's going to be a pass down, and it's going to be caught by Shobi Khan. And he's going to get it just about the 42-yard line, so an excellent throw.
Yeah, excellent throw there, and there's another wrinkle in that play-action game, which has been successful for the Bulldogs in the first half, and they're going to need a lot more of the play-action dosage here in order to get back in this ball game. Good adjustment by Shobi Khan, too. It was an underthrown ball, but made a nice adjustment so that the defender couldn't get at it.
And so Khan there with a good pickup, and so it's going to be a 1st and 10 on the 42-yard line, and it's going to be a little toss out to the running back, Austin Amberson, but it's going to be dropped. But he jumps right back on it, but it's going to be a loss.
Yeah, Scott hasn't really settled in too comfortably in his quarterback position. He's had a lot of error throws and some questionable throws as well through the night. He's going to have to get settled in quickly.
And I apologize, there wasn't a lateral. They ruled it an incomplete pass. And so he hands it off up the middle. And as soon as he gets up here, we'll give you a number. And it's Jonathan Villapana. And so he picks up just about 6 yards. So a good little play there through the defensive line.
And that's where whatever minimal success that they have had on the ground, it's in between the tackles, not outside where Winters has the strength and defense. It's going straight at him.
And so he's going to hand it off yet again to Jonathan Villapana. And he is difficult to bring down, but he is finally brought down. But with forward progress, he is going to have enough for the first down. And so it's going to be a 1st and 10 at just about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Villapana, exhibiting what I've seen out of both a lot of Division II and Division I backs this year, and that's, a motor to keep those legs churning. Nice job to keep the legs burning and picks up some nice yardage there for the first down.
So would that be churning and burning?
Churning and burning, and maybe even a little turning, too.
What about yearning?
Well, they're yearning for a touchdown right now.
I see that. And so it's going to be a pass down the field, and it's going to be overthrown. Leo Espinoza, the intended receiver on that play. And he tried to spin his head around, but it got over him. It was a little overthrown. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 now on the 29-yard line with 5:40 left in this quarter.
Yeah, it seems like Scott just gets a little too excited, especially on those deeper routes. And so just wants to, try to place the ball perfectly. But, it could just trust your arm and, play within yourself, and it will come to you.
And so Matt Scott's under center here. And we have a number 5 in motion. And so it is going to be a pass play, and he throws it down the right-hand side. And it was intended for Shobi Khan, but it is incomplete.
Yeah, you would have really had to thread the needle there. Good coverage in the secondary right there. Safety stayed home, didn't really bite on the play action or the running back action. And they're going to be faced with a 2nd and long. The Bulldogs are going to be faced with a 2nd and long here.
And I also got some new information from up here in the booth that Matt Scott is fresh off a shoulder injury for the last 4 weeks. And I don't know if you had mentioned that, but
no, we failed to mention that early in the broadcast, and that definitely can obviously affect a quarterback play. You're a little hesitant to get hit again and injure that shoulder, and make some errant throws.
And so it's going to be caught by Khan yet again, and so it's going to be enough for a first down. So a good little pickup there of just about 13, maybe even 14 yards. And so they're driving down the field now with 5:25 left here in this quarter. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 on just about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, and he is the key to get them back into this game. We've seen that he's got the speed. I would like to see, the Bulldogs try to get him on shorter routes, maybe with more space, so he can break it open.
And so it's going to be a pass out to number 21 yet again, and it's going to be almost intercepted, and it's going to be caught by Leo Espinoza. So it was tipped by a Warrior into Gridley's hands, and it is going to be ruled as a touchdown. And so it's going to be an 18-yard pass play from Matt Scott to Leo Espinoza. And so bizarre turn of events there at the end of that play, but it goes in the Gridley's favor.
Yeah, great heads-up play there by Espinoza, but if you're the Winners defense, that's a play you have to have and run back to really, put the Bulldogs out of it. The Bulldogs still have a pretty big hill to climb, but that will definitely give them some lift.
And so it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and he breaks one tackle, he breaks another, and he gets into the end zone. And so it's going to be a 2-point conversion. And so that's going to push it to 31-47, so within 17 now. And so the Bulldogs on a very interesting touchdown pass. They get tipped by a Warriors player, and then in the very next play, they get the 2-point conversion with the quarterback keeper.
Well,
and so Matt Scott showing me something on that drive.
Yeah, made a nice couple completions right there. Obviously got some help there with a little bit of luck, but as my pa always says, it's always better to be lucky than good sometimes. So they got the play they needed to get them a little bit of life in this game. Now they're going to need another big turnover from their defense in order to make some real moves.
Who told you that? Your dad?
My pa.
Ah,
That's
your
right.
pa. Your pa. Okay.
Yeah,
excuse me. Is that how you got this job? I was just kidding.
No. No.
I was just kidding.
No, Mom and Dad down in Southern California actually watching the game right now. So hi, Mom and Dad. Appreciate you watching.
Hello, Ma. Hello, Pa. And so as we wait for the Gridley Bulldogs to kick it off here, and every time they score, they light up a big G on the left-hand side of the field.
A sight they haven't seen too often this season, but it's encouraging nonetheless right now.
And so we're ready now as Scott kicks it off, and it's a squibber right to number 8, Caleb Wise, and he picks it up, and he runs through the middle, and he does have blocking toward the middle of the field, but he's going to be pursued and brought down by Ty Dunlap, and so great pursuit keeps him from breaking off a score there, and so he gets past midfield, but it could have been a lot worse, and so they're going to have great field position here, and it's going to be spotted at just about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, along with their miscues on the special teams, on the return team, on the kicking team, has not really tackled well at all, and Winters has gotten some excellent field position on the kickoffs. So they're going to have to clean that up as well.
And so Winters Warriors are starting out here on the 43-yard line. 1st and 10, 4:51 left in this quarter. And it's a shotgun play, and it's going to be handed off. And so Jacob Lowry on the carry, and he's going to pick up just about 5 on the play. So Winters showing what they do best on the rushing statistic, and they pick up another quality yards right there.
Yes, they love hitting Lowry on that, that sweep play. Really distracts the defense, and then once it's kind of a little bit of a rope-a-dope, they like to lull you to sleep with Lowry on the outside, and they'll hit you with the punch on the inside with Mays and Rojas.
And so we're waiting here with a 2 running back, and he's going to hand it off on the left-hand side there, and he's going to be gang tackled. And so, that was Matt Scott on the run? No.
That was Chaz Matthews, actually.
Excuse me.
Chaz Matthews hounded by several Bulldogs on that play. Got to love the pursuit and the gang tackle there by the Bulldogs. Obviously still fighting. Know they have a lot of work to do if they want to make this, a one-score game, but got to love the fight these kids are showing tonight.
And I would even say he was bulldogged on that play. Pun intended. And so Chris Mays is ready here in the shotgun formation with the running back. And it's going to be a keeper out to the left-hand side, and he does have the sideline, and they're having a tough time tackling him, and he's going to get down just about the 18-yard line, maybe even the 17. But he catches the outside yet again, and another quality pickup is going to move the chains.
Yeah, and especially now that the Warriors are entering the red zone, they got to think about stacking more men in the box, just because all of the Warriors' touchdowns tonight have been on the ground. And with a short field here, I wouldn't anticipate a throwing touchdown soon. So, they found some success when they blitz, and they're going to have to blitz a lot more, especially here. If they want to, fend off the Warriors.
And so, with the Warriors lining up in a 4-receiver set, it looks like it could be a pass play here, but that could just be to throw it off. And it is going to be a run play up the middle. And I think we're going to have a flag on the play, but that was Chaz Matthews up the middle, and he's going to be hit pretty immediately.
Yeah, and Frank, I think that's what makes this offense so hard to read and actually defend, because they come out in a shotgun set, spreading you out, but they can run the ball very successfully in the interior, which can be very frustrating for any defense.
And so it's going to be a penalty against the Bulldogs here. And so it's going to it's going to be an inverted face mask, which is only a 5-yard penalty. So it's going to be a first and just about 3 on the play. And it's going to be a running play with Mays, and he bounces out to the left-hand side, and he makes another defender miss. And he is very close to the touchdown, but it's going to be very close to a touchdown, not the touchdown, a touchdown. And he's going to be spotted at just about the 2-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Frank, there are some talented quarterbacks in Division I, but I'm not sure if there's any quarterbacks that have the agility like Chris Mays on that play, able to, run out the gut but bounce it outside and makes some positive yardage there for the first down. That was impressive.
And we're seeing a lot from this 6'2", 215-pounder. And so it's going to be an empty set here in the back, and they're going to spread it out again with a 4-receiver set. And so ball is on the 2-yard line, and he's going to take it himself, and it's going to be a touchdown. And so on the left-hand side this time, he's going to get another touchdown here. And so a little 5-yard run on that. And so that's going to be his fourth rushing touchdown. And so that's going to push his mark up to 21 rushing touchdowns this season already.
That's incredible.
And so as a senior, he could be looking for a scholarship in his future. I'm not sure about the whole backstory, but
no, he's shown a lot of skills. We haven't really seen his arm too much, but when they're running the ball so successfully on the ground, he doesn't need to throw it a lot. So he's got a lot of that it factor, that athletic it factor, to be potentially a good quarterback at the next level.
And so it looks like they're going to go for 2 here, and it's 53-31 here. And he fakes the handoff, and he passes it to the back of the end zone, and it is going to be caught for the 2-point conversion. And that's going to be Alex Lopez on the reception.
And right around cue, we see a nice little pass by Chris Mays. Had a lot of pressure in his face, was able to stay a cool, calm customer and deliver a nice 2-point conversion to the end zone.
And so with 2:17 left here in this third quarter, the score now is 55 for the Warriors and 31 for the Bulldogs. And so not a complete blowout. But like we said before, that this is the most the Bulldogs have scored all season, and so not getting shut out or, having it a bigger margin is definitely a moral victory, but not necessarily
not the victory they were looking
Right.
for. Absolutely, But if you look at this Gridley roster, and even they're going 0-8 this year. There's a lot of juniors here, and a lot of key players like Shobi Khan and even Emery Hattie, who was the backup quarterback, looked pretty good in previous weeks as well. So there's a lot that this Bulldog team can build on for next season.
And so the kick is away, and it's a good one. And it's going to be returned here, and he's going to head towards the right end of the field or the bottom edge of your screen. And it looks like it's going to be Richard Benish on the return. And so a good little pickup there is going to get him just about the 30-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from there with 2:08 left here in the third quarter. And so they're going to look to start passing heavy again here because it has been working. So they found a little Swiss cheese in the defense on the pass play, and so they're going to try to launch it down deep with Shobi Khan, Shobi Khan and I forgot.
Leo Espinoza has had some impact in the passing game as well.
Right. And so it's going to be a handoff. And so Jonathan Filipina up the middle for just about 6 yards, and so a good little pickup. It's going to be a 2nd and 4.
Well, we've seen a lot out of this Winners offense. They've kind of impressed us a lot, but if they have any hopes of, contending the playoffs, it's this side of the ball that they really need to work on. Making the big plays when they need to and limiting the penalties on both sides, because at this rate, they're either going to be facing a number 1 or number 2 seed, and you can't make mistakes like that.
And so it is going to be a pass down the left-hand side, but it is high arcing, and he is going to catch it, and it's no good. They're going to call it no good. So Leo Espinoza, and he might be hurt on the play. He might have got a little hand stinger.
Yeah, a little hand stinger right there, and his quarterback, Matt Scott, there is again kind of airing the ball out a little bit, a little hesitant on the throw. Had a nice pump fake to get the defender looking in the backfield, but just needs to trust that injured shoulder. Injured shoulder. I'm having trouble with my S's tonight, as you can tell, and just needs to relax and make a nice clean throw because that had touchdown potential.
And so every time he's launched it out, he has fallen onto his receivers, and they've been doing a pretty good job catching them tonight. And so if you have a lot of trust in your receivers, then I just throw it home run.
Yeah, just air it out. Don't think about the throw so much. Just let the receivers do the work.
And so it's going to be a pass down the middle, and it's going to be overthrown to Joe Harp. And so it was just a little bit overthrown, but he was wide open down the middle.
Yeah, just going back exactly what we were talking about. Wide open guy, get a little excited, maybe a little injured still, but just make the throw like you're in the backyard, you're in practice, and just relax because that easily could have been a touchdown as well. But, he's a good big kid and stuff, and I don't know if they're just trying to protect his shoulder and not let him run as much, but I like to see him have some more carries.
And so Scott in the I formation, and he's going to back up and look for a pass. He's going to throw it down the field to Shobi Khan, and it's going to be broken up. And so Christian Corrales on the defense side of the ball there. And Shobi Khan has been a dangerous weapon in this game, but he is shut down there.
Yeah, and I understand, the Bulldogs want to be aggressive, get the ball down the field, make a big play, but having 3, deep pass plays like that might not be the best strategy. You kind of need to mix it up a little bit just because it gets a little predictable. And now they're left with, now they just turn over the ball there, and Winters gets excellent field position once again.
And so 1st and 10 on the 36-yard line, and Winters takes over yet again with excellent field position, like you said. And so Chris Mays is going to hand it off to Jacob Lowry, and he gets out to the outside, but he's going to pick up just about 3 yards on the play. And so just about the 33-yard line. about 33.5-yard line, I'd say. And so the clock is still running here with just about 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
And while we have a slight break in the action, some scores around in Division II. Pierce, who is undefeated, is leading Live Oak with under a minute in the fourth quarter, 14-7. So we'll be watching that one closely.
And so Mays is ready here, and he does have a man in motion. And he fakes the handoff to number 12, and he is up the middle. And with his speed, he is brought down. And so he picks up just about 6 yards on the play. And so it's going to be a nice little 3rd and 2 now as time expires in the third quarter. And so they're going to switch places here. And with the third quarter wrapping up, we'd like you to join us on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Sorry, as we were just about to end the third quarter, I was trying to update you with some other scores around the northern section. West Valley is punishing Anderson 56-8 with about 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. But the game we will be watching in Diviz is Pierce, who is one of 3 remaining undefeated teams in the northern section, is up only a touchdown, 14-7 over Live Oak with about under a minute left in the fourth quarter. So we will definitely be watching that score and see what happens and see if Pierce continues to remain undefeated.
And so the fourth quarter is just about ready to start. The teams have switched positions on the field, and we're going to be going from right to left now as Winters gets the ball with 3rd and 2 on the 28-yard line, and they're up by a bunch. And so he's going to fake the handoff and do a keeper right up the middle, and they can't catch him, and they can't tackle him either. And he bounces it out to the right-hand side, and he goes in for yet another rushing touchdown, his 5th of the game. And so a 28-yard keeper is going to push Winters up to 61 points now.
Yeah, and that should probably be the final nail in the coffin on that one, delivered by Mays. Unbelievable game tonight. You know, he's just been doing what he's been doing all season as well. You know, and so well over that, 1,000-yard rushing mark for the season.
And so he bounced in, and he got in trouble with the safety, but the safety couldn't complete the tackle. And he bounced it out to the right-hand side and picked up the touchdown for his 5th of the game. And so I'm guessing he's going to be player of the game at this point.
Looking like it.
And so the kick is going to be a fake, and he's going to roll out to the right-hand side, and he's going to run it in, and he's going to dive, and they're going to count it here. And so it's going to be the 2-point conversion is going to push them up to 63. So they're up by 32 points now.
Yeah, well, 2-point conversion right there is a little unnecessary. You're not really going to be, padding your stats and the polls or anything with that. So I don't really get that, but, I guess if it works, it works. But a little unnecessary and kind of rubbing it in unnecessarily.
That's how you feel, Nick? I feel that way, too. It kind of feels
not
like...
to express my opinion. This is a good Bulldog team. They've come out and fired up. They showed, they're not a doormat. Kind of getting away from him late here, but, you kind of want to show a little bit of class as well. And going for 2 points there. Plus, you can get a player injured as well doing that. So... kind of unnecessary.
And so as we're ready for both teams to get ready for the kickoff here, and a kick from right to left, and Richard Benish and Leo Espinoza back. I'm sorry, that's Christopher Kastner back to receive the kickoff, and the kickoff is away, and it looks like Benish is going to get it, and he heads up the middle of the field, and he runs into a sea of the Warriors here, and so he just got past the 30-yard line, and so it looks like it's going to be a 1st and 10 at just about the 33. 3.5, I'd say. And so 11:40 left here in the fourth quarter.
Well, if you're the Bulldogs at this point, you look at that scoreboard, and, it's well out of reach. But like I said, you have, the home faithful here to keep playing for. And, I remember as a senior on my last home game, I wanted to make the most of it, despite the scoreboard either way. It's going to be the last time you're putting on the pads at home. So hopefully they have a little bit of fight left and makes this a solid drive and, makes it still an entertaining game.
Well, that's funny. My last my last game as a sophomore, I just wanted to rip somebody's face off.
Well, that happens too.
All right. And so it's going to be handed off here to the big fella, David Cardenas. And so David Cardenas looks like a linebacker out there playing running back. And they're going to hand him off, and he's going to get just about 2 yards on the handoff there. And so it's going to be 2nd and 8 at the 35-yard line with time getting down just about the 11-minute mark.
Got to love when the big man runs the ball. It's always fun to watch.
And so they're going to hand it off to another big man here, Angel Ramos. And so it looks like they're going with the Refrigerator Perry offense.
A little bit of the Elephant O offense out there. Try to, get some guys who, don't usually get carries the ball at this rate. Maybe try to get some of those seniors some touches, too, since it's going to be the last time on this field.
And I believe both of those who just ran were seniors, so I'm thinking that's obviously what they're trying to do. And so it's going to be 3rd and 3 on the 40-yard line as we're ready here. It's a 3-back system, and they're going to hand it off to yet another big fella here. And that is Miguel Corona. And so number 51, 52, and 53 all get carries here in the last 3. And it's going to be a 4th and 1 at just about the 42-yard line. And so we'll have to see if they hand it off to 50 now.
No, it looks like they're going to, a little quarterback keeper here, actually.
And so they're going to push it here, and it looks like he may have enough for the first down. Yes, he does, and it's going to be about a couple yards to pick up the first down. So 9:45 left in this ball game, and it's pretty much a lost hope for Gridley. And with that, we'll give you a little update.
So apparently Orland was playing Wheelan tonight at Wheelan High School, which was definitely a big game because those are 2 contenders in Division II. We'll see if our producer can try to maybe get us a score on that game somehow, because that definitely has some huge Division II implications.
And so here's the snap under center, and he's going to fake the pass and then hand it off to number 28, and he's got some good yards, and he steps out of bounds at just about the 41-yard line. And so that was Austin Amberson on the carry. And so an excellent pickup there. So they go with the big Elephant O offense, and then they switch it up, and, it's like putting weights on the bat,
right.
Right before you go on bat, and you can just swing it faster.
That's
so
right.
I think that's just exactly what just happened there with the Winters Warriors defense. And so 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line, and since he did go out of bounds, it will stop the clock at 9:06. And the score is 31-63 with the Bulldogs trailing the Winters Warriors. And so, like we said before, it's probably not going to happen, but you just got to go out there and have some fun since it's going to be seniors' last home game.
Right.
So,
we were mentioning Pierce as one of the 3 undefeated teams remaining in the northern section. Another undefeated team in Division II is Sutter, as they're currently 8-0 playing tonight. As I said, one of 3 remaining undefeated teams, averaging 44 points a game and allowing just 9 points a game on defense. And coming up with a big 34-27 victory on the road against Enterprise, a Division I team. So they're going to be a team to watch in the playoffs.
And so Matt Scott fakes off to the left-hand side and to draw the safeties off, and then overthrows his man, Oscar Ramos. And so we've seen this pretty much all game. He's done a little overthrow, and that might be his shoulder bothering them in this cold.
Right. Frank, you saw Sutter a few weeks ago. What was it that impressed you the most about this 8-0 team?
Well, the Sutter team, I didn't go in there with very high expectations, but I came out of there with they are just a solid football team on all aspects. And as we see Shobi Khan, I had to do it once, I'm sorry, as he picks up a bunch of yards there and it's going to move the chains. But Sutter was impressive. They looked, when I went there, I think they believe they were 5-0. They looked like a 5-0 team. And they were getting it done on offense. They were getting it done on special teams as well. And they weren't playing as strong as an opponent then. I don't remember who they were playing, actually. But it doesn't matter because since they're undefeated. And so it's going to be a handoff to the right-hand side. And it's going to be Austin Amberson on the carry. And it was Winters in that game. Sorry. Gosh, man, how the time flies. Sorry. Yeah, and so, but they were getting it done, but Winters couldn't stand up to the attack. And so the dynamic here is that Gridley is obviously a lower tier team, as there's a handoff up the middle for just a couple of yards. It's going to be a 3rd and 1. But Winters could be dominating here, but at Sutter, it could be a whole different ball game, and so they better not hope that they play them in the playoffs.
Right, exactly, and that's why this game is a bbig deal, and Winters' next game next week is a big deal too, because they're kind of in the race at the bottom of that Division II playoff race, so they definitely don't want to welcome Sutter to another matchup.
And so Matt Scott is going to be under center here with an I formation. And he's going to roll out right, and then he's going to pass down the left side of the field, and nobody's there. And it's going to be caught, and it is going to be a touchdown. So I think they gave it to him there, and that was Oscar Ramos. And so a 14-yard touchdown from Matt Scott hooking up with Oscar Ramos on the play. Nobody was around him, but they are going to have flags on the field. And so excessive unsportsmanlike conduct. And so per high school rules, it could have been profanity or any kind of taunting or anything will get you an unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's the second unsportsmanlike conduct we've seen in this game.
Yeah, and that's another high pass that we've seen from Matt Scott. And I think, as you said, I think the official might have given him that one right there. But good thing that they post some more points on the board, make this a more respectable score.
And so he's going to pass it out, and Shobi Khan is going to get the 2-point conversion. And so that pushes their score up to 39 now. And so it's 63-39. And, we couldn't ask for a better game here because we have over 100 points on the board.
Yeah, the clock manager has certainly been busy this game, partly because of Shobi Khan. And even though, the Bulldogs are not going to more than likely not end up winning this game, barring the, miraculous Shobi Khan is definitely going to be a bright spot looking into that Gridley 2013 season. So he's been an exciting player to watch, not only catching the ball, but also laying some excellent blocks as a receiver as well.
And so we're waiting as the Gridley crowd goes wild here, we're waiting for them to tee off for the kickoff here, and there's 7:17 left in this ball game. And so the score is a little bit closer. And it looks like they've amassed in this game more than they have in 5 games in before this one. So if you get my drift,
yeah,
I kind of made that confusing.
Yeah, and that's definitely something you can build on, for the next season. Even though you're not getting the win tonight, you take that going into next week and say, hey, our offense is capable of doing some good things. Let's see if we can make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball.
And so it's going to be an onside kick, and he's just going to be rocked in the back there. And that was Diego Camacho with the But he's going to be rocked here just around midfield, and so with the onside kick, it was unsuccessful, but they did get one last shot in on him, and he is kind of limping off the field there.
Yeah, I was just about to say, walking a little gingerly off the field, but makes a nice play for his ball club not to cough the ball up, and retains possession.
And so the clock will restart here, or the clock will stop.
Looks like Winters will be taking a timeout.
And so Winters is going to be taking a timeout. And we'd like you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And so what else can we say about this game? It's just been fantastic. It's been very back and forth. I mean, it's been one-sided with Winters scoring all these touchdowns. And if I can count them here on your score, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 touchdowns on the board. I mean,
yeah, we're getting pretty close to that dozen, or even a Baker's dozen. I don't know if we'll get there tonight, but there's not much more you can say about the play from Chris Mays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rushing touchdowns, and including a passing touchdown at the end of the second
and he's
half.
got to have over 250 yards, I'm sure, because every touchdown he's had has been 25 yards or more. So I think there was an 18 there he snuck in on me. But and so here we go with the backup here, and number 12, and he gets a couple blocks, and he's going to have enough for and so that's Jacob Lowry taking the snap. And so they sit out Mays for this drive, and so just about 7 minutes left on the clock, and it looks like Mays might be out for the game here.
Yeah, that's an excellent move by Coach Ward right there. He's already gotten his stats, his numbers. You got this game in hand. Don't let a great quarterback like that get injured at the end of the game.
And so with the 4 receiver set, Jacob Lowry is calling out the plays, and it's going to be a handoff. Number 7, but he's going to be taken down in the backfield, and that was Nico Rojas on the carry, and he got taken down in the backfield, and so it's going to be a second and a bunch, but that clock still is winding down.
Yeah, they tried to run that sweep play. That's been pretty successful for them most of the night, but Nico Rojas, he's got a little bit of speed, but not quite as much as Jacob Lowry, and Kaiser Waite was able to make a nice play and stop him in the backfield.
And so he's going to keep the ball, but he's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be no gain on the play. And so Lowry takes it himself.
Sometimes the term drag down is used loosely in football, but Miguel Corona definitely had to drag down Jacob Lowry on that one.
And so we're ready here. Lowry is in a 4 receiver set, and he's going to run with it himself, and he makes a couple of defenders miss, and he makes another one. And that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. And he's going to get enough for the first down. And it's just about a 12-yard pickup there, maybe an 11.5-yard pickup. But that was a pretty good run there by Lowry, and he's going to keep the chains moving and the clock moving also.
Yeah, great. As I mentioned earlier, Jacob Lowry, also another running back that has great feet, not only to keep the balance, but make a nice couple of spin moves, which I believe is the X button on your PlayStation right there, and making some nice spins for the first down.
I believe it's the circle.
It is circle. That's how I always mess up on that. Dang it.
And so he spins away from another tackle, and another one, and he's fighting for more yards. And that was Caleb Wise on there, so the big senior there. Having a nice little impressive play there, and under 5 minutes now. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout. And Winters is going to take a timeout. And so I think we can start to look at our player of the game now for after the game, and it definitely has to be Chris Mays. He's done some amazing work with his feet this game. And
yeah, 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, 6 total, and a smorgasbord of yards to boot with that.
And he's well up over 1,000. He might even have 1,300 yards after this game, and the season ain't over yet.
No, it's definitely not. They got one more game next week, and if this team, this winners team, can learn to limit their mistakes, make the plays on defense that they need to, they can be a big sleeper team heading into this Division II playoffs with an offense like this. So, but like I said, they're just going to have to lock it down on defense. I mean, allowing a Gridley team, you got to love the fight in these young guys, but they've only been averaging 5 points a game this season, and to allow them to put up 39 points has to be a little discouraging. So they're going to have to make some adjustments on the defensive side.
And so Mays back in here. And so it's going to be a And so it was just going to be a score to be a little running block. And so the clock is going to just keep on rolling here. And so they just let him.
I don't like that.
I
understand. I understand the logic, and I understand the logic. You want to get the game going over, but it kind of sends the wrong message to your team personally. If they score the touchdown and they run the clock, that's fine. And obviously the fans are cheering on, their players and stuff, but keep playing.
And so that was Ty Spalding on the carry there. And so,
yeah, I mean, I don't like that. I mean, obviously, the game's in hand. You want to get out of here, but it's like, what, me personally, I think that sends the wrong message to your ball club, especially going to the next year. So.
And so the kick is up, but it bounces off the upright, so that's going to be no good. But the score is 69-39. And so 3:15 to go, and it is going to be a running clock here. And so the teams will take their time getting back onto the field. And so Winters is up by 30. And they're going to take their sweet time letting the clock run down here. And so even though it was a disappointing senior night here, they did fight hard and put up 39 points. And so we have a ton of points there.
Yeah,
it's been the most by far.
Yeah, we've bear witness to some blowouts, especially earlier in the season around the northern section. But this was definitely an enjoyable game to watch. High scoring, even some good defensive plays every once in a while. And, even though I was kind of rooting for the Bulldogs to pull off, a big win on senior night, these kids still played really hard. And, hopefully the seniors get sent off the right way.
And so they're taking even more time here. And so about 2 minutes left on this running clock. And so we're ready to kick off here. And so the kick is up. And it's a little roper. And Benish is going to get it. And he's going to make one defender miss, make two. And he's going to get up just about the 34-yard line. So a good little pickup there. And so with the running clock, we're under 2 minutes now. And so they're going to try to probably run as many plays as they can. And I'm guessing they're probably going to be running plays.
Right, yeah. It seems that, this game's at its end, and we'll be looking forward to the last week of the regular season for the northern section, as we're going to be geared up for quite a wild playoff race coming in here. And it looks like Pierce did hold on to that game 14-7 against Live Oak and has won and remains undefeated. And as we said earlier, West Valley, showing their stuff, crushing Anderson by a score of 56-8. So some intriguing storylines in both the Division I and Division II playoffs coming up here, and I'm excited to call it with you and the rest of the PlayOn Sports broadcast team.
Sure. I am too. That was very touching. And so with under a minute to go here, they're going to run it to the big fella. Miguel Corona. And so he gets enough for the first down. And 30 seconds, and so it's winding down here. And even though they got defeated this night, it looks like there's a lot of happy faces in the crowd still. And I think they have to really appreciate that this team held on.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that they competed tonight. They came up here. They could have easily, put it to bed early and said, oh, no, here we go again. But they actually fought really hard to make this a good game. And, they're going to move on to 0-9. But, it'd be pretty fantastic if they found a way to win next week and avoid going over for the season.
And so they're going to do a little quick snap here. And with that play, that's going to end the ball game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com for our post-game coverage. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Winters Warriors have defeated the Gridley Bulldogs 69-39 on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.